There was a 7-second pause. You might not think 7 seconds is a long time, but stand at a microphone in a quiet room with reporters staring at you and count to 7. That is a long time. That is the kind of pause that tells you something is happening underneath the surface. Connor Hellebuyck took that pause in April at his end-of-season exit interview with the Winnipeg Jets. Some people noticed. Most moved on. That was a mistake. And now, 2 months later, ESPN is confirming what was hiding in plain sight all along. To understand why that moment mattered, you have to understand who Connor Hellebuyck is. He is not just a good goaltender. He is the best goaltender on the planet. 3 Vezina trophies, 1 Hart Trophy as the most valuable player in the entire NHL. In October of 2023, he signed a 7-year, $59.5 million contract with Winnipeg, $8.5 million per year. He chose to stay because he believed he could win the Stanley Cup in this city. That contract runs through 2031. On paper, the Jets have the best goaltender in hockey locked up for 5 more prime years at a price that is practically a bargain. On paper, this is a franchise-defining asset. And in 2024 to 2025, the Jets looked like they deserved that kind of investment. They won the President's Trophy, the best record in the entire league, 116 points. Hellebuyck was untouchable. 47 wins, a 2.00 goals against average. He was the Hart Trophy winner, the Vezina winner, and the engine behind a team that looked like a legitimate Stanley Cup threat. Then 2025 to 2026 happened, and everything unraveled. It started with a knee injury in November. Hellebuyck underwent minor surgery on November 22nd, and the Jets went 2 wins and 6 losses without him. He came back, looked sharp, and for a moment it felt like the season could be saved. Then came an 11-game winless streak, December 15th to January 9th. A complete collapse from the team that had been the best in the NHL just 12 months earlier. By the time Hellebuyck left for Italy and the Winter Olympics, Winnipeg was staring at an 11-point deficit in the Western Conference playoff race. They pushed back hard. A 10-win, 4 overtime loss run in March dragged them within 1 point of a wildcard spot by March 31st. But they ran out of time. The Winnipeg Jets finished 7th in the Central Division with 86 points, 8 points out of a playoff spot. They became the 5th team in NHL history to miss the playoffs the year after winning the President's Trophy. And then Connor Hellebuyck walked up to a microphone. What happened at that exit interview, the hockey world underestimated. He did not give diplomatic answers about trusting the process or believing in the group. He called the season's effort unacceptable. He talked about bad bounces, self-inflicted wounds, and a team that created its own bad luck. He said his belief in winning the Stanley Cup in Winnipeg had been challenged. Then a reporter asked the question everyone in the room wanted answered. Would this season cause Hellebuyck to reevaluate his future with the Jets? He paused. 1 second. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full seconds of silence before he answered. He said he did not want to leave any speculation. He said he loves the city and loves the fans. But then came the line that should have set off every alarm in Winnipeg. Can you get the pieces you need? Will the players come? These are always questions you have in Winnipeg. The majority of the league does not feel the same way about this city that he does. That is not a frustrated player venting after a hard season. That is a man publicly questioning whether his own franchise can ever attract the talent he needs to win. Jets general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff responded by calling Hellebuyck an emotional player. He said passion is part of what makes him great. The hockey world nodded and moved on. But those words did not go away, because before Hellebuyck stepped in front of that microphone in April, he spent 2 weeks in Milano Cortina, Italy. He was the starting goaltender for Team USA at the 2026 Winter Olympics. He was not just good. He was the best goaltender at the entire tournament, a 1.18 goals against average, a 956 save percentage across 5 games. He helped the United States win the gold medal, and for 2 weeks, he played alongside some of the best players in the world. A roster built to win right now. A team with depth at every position, stars in every locker room, and no question marks about whether elite talent would show up. Then he came back to Winnipeg, back to a team that could not make the playoffs, back to a city that, by his own word, the rest of the league does not flock to. That contrast does not just leave an impression. It changes the way a competitor looks at his own situation. If you are watching this story unfold in real time the same way we are, hit subscribe. We cover the biggest stories in the NHL every single week, and this one is far from over. Now let us talk about what changed in the last 24 hours. Because this story just shifted from background noise to something the entire league is paying attention to. ESPN insiders Emily Kaplan, Kristen Shilton, and Greg Wyshynski went public with a report that confirmed what a lot of people inside the game already suspected. Their words were short and direct. The Connor Hellebuyck smoke is real. 3 respected insiders at the biggest sports media company in the world, writing in plain language that this is no longer rumor. Hellebuyck has made it clear he is not happy with the status quo in Winnipeg, and as a result, the Jets are taking calls. The fourth period had first reported teams quietly reaching out to Winnipeg about Hellebuyck back in May. A hockey podcast suggested Hellebuyck had already made a formal trade request, though that remains unconfirmed. But what started as background noise has now been elevated by 3 credible reporters into something unavoidable. The timing is not a coincidence. The season is over. The draft is here. Free agency opens in days. If Winnipeg is going to move Hellebuyck, this is the window. And the league knows it, which is why the phones are ringing. The Florida Panthers made inquiries before they traded for Brady Tkachuk. That deal has since spent 3 first-round picks, complicating any further pursuit of Hellebuyck. But players like Eetu Luostarinen and Evan Rodriguez have been floated as potential pieces if Florida finds a way back in. The New Jersey Devils and the Buffalo Sabres have both been connected as franchises actively hunting for a difference-making presence in net. ESPN's John Butzegros posted that Buffalo was loading up assets specifically for a Hellebuyck pursuit after they secured the 4th overall pick in the draft. Insider Frank Saravalli went further, suggesting the Sabres could offer the 4th overall pick and goaltender Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in a straight swap for Hellebuyck, asking publicly who would say no to that package. The Carolina Hurricanes are being described as stealthy players. They just won the Stanley Cup. Their starting goaltender Frederik Andersen may be walking in free agency. A team that just won the cup with a goaltending question mark becomes a far more dangerous organization if they add the best goaltender on the planet to that roster. The Vegas Golden Knights are watching closely as well. But there is one factor that changes everything. Connor Hellebuyck has a no-movement clause. He controls where he goes. His destination is not a decision the Jets get to make unilaterally. The bidding war only matters if Hellebuyck agrees to go there. So here is what we are really watching. The NHL world is only now catching up to a story that Connor Hellebuyck told in April with a 7-second pause and a pointed question about whether players will even come to Winnipeg. He is 33 years old. He has 3 Vezina trophies. He has a Hart Trophy. He has an Olympic gold medal. The one thing still missing from his collection is a Stanley Cup ring, and the clock on his prime is not pausing for anyone. The Winnipeg Jets have one of the most valuable trade chips in the sport, a 3-time Vezina winner locked up at $8.5 million a year through 2031. But they can only move him somewhere he agrees to go. And right now, every signal is pointing toward a man who has already started looking at the door. The exit interview was the signal. The Olympics was the fuel. And this week, ESPN confirmed what was sitting in front of all of us back in April. Winnipeg Jets fans better hope their front office heard something different in those private exit meeting conversations. Because from the outside looking in, Connor Hellebuyck already has one foot out the door.